Welcome back to another episode of Mafia Family Ties. With me today is Russ Burton. Russ, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, so we're going to just jump right into it. So when I originally told you some of the questions I was going to be asking you, I was like, hey, so growing up a Bills fan, how is it different now than it was growing up? But you're like, I actually didn't grow up a Bills fan.
Yeah.
So get into that.
Yeah, so we moved around a lot when I was a kid, and the NFL just wasn't a big part of my life growing up. Big Syracuse football and basketball family, but the NFL just wasn't a big thing until this one friend of mine in elementary school really got me into it. He was a big Dolphins fan. And it's
gross.
I know, it's super gross. But that started, that begun the downward spiral of me becoming a hardcore NFL fan. I bandwagoned for the Bears for a little bit. The Super Bowl shuffle really, that 85 Bears team was what really made me a football fan. Mm-hmm. And growing up, I grew up in Canandaigua, and it wasn't, I don't know, people just weren't rabid Bills fans at that time. It was kind of all over the place. So I always loved the game. I just didn't have a team growing up until, much later on. I don't know how much you want me to get into that.
Well, how did that happen? And what's it been like, since?
Yeah, so like I said, I didn't have a team. I just loved the game. I'm more geared towards players than anything. Oh my God, the Drew Bledsoe to Ben Coates connection to the Patriots was one of my favorite things to watch. They were so much fun to watch. And then I get the job at 97 Rock. We're the voice of the Bills at the time, start producing the game day. And that eventually led me to getting access in the locker room and getting to meet a lot of these guys. And I think it helped that I was just coming off playing football myself. Played in football, played in college, graduated 98, got the job in 99. So I think I was really missing that camaraderie. And I just kind of became friends with a lot of these drought era football players, Bills. And I couldn't help but root for those guys. And ever since, I've just been die hard. No matter who's in the jersey, I want them to win.
Love it.
It's always been the case.
It's kind of bled into the actual fandom now.
Yeah, absolutely.
They got you.
Yeah, no, they got me. Yeah, they got me firm, I guess.
So, okay, you're talking about you're being a producer at 97 Rock and doing all these work tasks involved with the team. Did you ever get to tailgate a lot? No,
it was insane. So I went to games before I was officially a Bills fan, but I still don't even think then I tailgated. The only times I got to tailgate was working for 97 Rock, we'd be there kind of hosting it. Mm-hmm. I got to kind of drive around. I was the Nabisco snack fanatic for a short period of time. I know.
I forget. What is the Nabisco?
No, you're just starstruck. It's fine.
Yeah. Two things can be true.
So I was a mascot essentially in this ridiculous referee outfit. And I would have to drive in a golf cart through the tailgate, find people snacking on something not a Nabisco product, flag, delay of taste, 5 yards, and I'd hand them a bag of Ritz or something. And that was my job, which in theory was a lot of fun. And it was a great idea. But the problem is you get this idiot driving through the tailgate with a ridiculous costume. It turned into, you ever go to a driving range and the guy's driving through in the golf cart? What's everybody want to do? You want to hit the guy in the golf cart.
Especially if he's dressed like a referee.
So, especially at a Bills game. So I
might have thrown something at you.
You probably did. That's probably our origin story. That's our meet cute, and we just don't know it. So I got a lot of footballs thrown at me. A lot of people, as soon as I stopped, would just raid the back of it and eat all my snacks. Yeah. So that was my first tailgating experience. So it wasn't until after I stopped working the games that I could really experience that.
Yeah. So do you get to games now, as a fan, or is it?
I do, yeah. I do. I'm not as big a drinker as I used to be, so I don't know that I have the same tailgate experience as everybody. But I love it. I love the camaraderie. I love, This is going to sound weird, but I love the smells.
Yeah, no, that's not weird at all. That is not weird at all.
You got people cooking all kinds of different things. Yes. It's just, even the beers, the beers are flowing, the blue is going. It's great. I love the atmosphere. And like I said, the camaraderie, it really is like a family. You're getting ready for the games.
Yeah, it's good stuff. All right, so let's get into the Russ Burton origin story. You're a radio host now.
It's my favorite story.
Yeah, it's your only origin story, I assume, right? We only have one, but okay. So you're a radio host now. How did you know you wanted to work in radio?
It was not a short trip for me to get to being on the radio. I had like a little thing in high school where I had a class and they're like, hey, do your own radio show. And that was fun. I grew up in Rochester listening to all these guys on the radio. Brother Weeze was a big one. I love Brother Weeze, Scott Spezzano, Mayor Pete Kennedy, like all those people we don't know here, but they were legends to me. And I loved that. I never thought I would be one of them. I never thought I'd be on the radio. And it wasn't until I got to college. I originally went to be a math teacher at Canisius College. Go Griffs. I went to be a math teacher, and on the side, I had me and my roommate, John Strong, who we, have mutual communication with. John and I had a radio show freshman year of college, and it was the most natural thing I'd ever done in my life. Like I just knew what I was doing as soon as we walked in the room. I knew how the songs worked together. I knew like what worked and what didn't, putting together content. It felt so natural, it was like fish and water kind of thing. And I remember after one show, he looked at me, he was like, you got this. Like you I trust you with everything. I was like, oh, wow, that's great. So I quickly shifted my majors and got into communications and got an internship at 97 Rock right out of college with the morning show, Larry Norton's morning show. And
what year is that?
So that would have been 1998 when I was a senior is when I started doing internships. I had one there and one at Alice 92.9.
Oh, yeah, I remember them.
Alice was great. Yeah. It was one of my favorite stations in Buffalo. I wish it was still around.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had an internship in 1998. Got a job doing part-time promotions, dress up as the Rockadile every now and then, get to kind of pop in on the radio. And that it just kind of worked out that they needed people because at that time they actually had live people overnights. Sorry to spoil the magic, but there was live people there overnight. So they needed bodies. Mm-hmm. They liked me enough to go with me and they gave me a shot.
I love it. Yeah. So real quick, you and I, we sync up on like so many different interests between music.
This can go so many different
movies.
directions. I love it.
One real quick thing. Yeah. Were you working for 97 Rock in like May of 99?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you remember when Larry Norton was like set up outside the University 8 Theater to get Phantom Menace tickets?
Yes.
I was right next to him. I was like the first person in line, like right next to Norton.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so good. What were you dressed up as?
Del Reed. I did have a cardboard stand-up of a stormtrooper with me, though.
My level of disappointment is immeasurable right now.
Yeah, I know. I apologize.
So I was actually on the air because, at that point they would do like the release the night before, like the midnight showings. I was on the air doing a midnight chef when that movie was on. And I still remember people calling in, giving reviews. And I'm getting goosebumps now as people were like, that underwater scene was incredible. Like back right when it was new and people still liked that movie.
I've come around. They put out some recent movies, which make me really appreciate those prequels. I've come back.
As long as you can block out the Jar Jar Binks of it all, yes. I love that movie.
Yeah, for sure. No, I had to ask real quick because that was like my one interaction with Larry Norton was that time being set up like right next to him.
They're right there. They're right there.
The whole we've been together this whole time. I know. Who knew? All right, so you had that opportunity. You've had the opportunity to work on the John Murphy show. I think that's when we actually met.
That was our first interaction. I remember. Yeah.
Right, sure. And so, what was that like? Being able to produce, for John Murphy and everything that was going on. I mean, you talked about your interactions with drought players. That was peak drought. Peak. What was that experience like?
So I was there for context. I worked there for 2 years. I was the last year of Chan and the first year of Dougie Fresh Marone.
So that's 13 and 14?
Would it be? I guess, yeah, that'd be right. Or 12 and 13.
13, 14, 12. Yeah.
It's around. Yeah, it's around.
12 and 13. Yeah, because EJ Manuel was 2013. That was Doug Marone.
Yes.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. So
nobody cares about these details.
No. We're going to cut this. Cover time. So it was a dream come true. I mean, because I was, at that point, when I got the call, I had just left 97 Rock. I was doing sales in radio at that time. Mm-hmm. And I was not good at it at all. I was miserable. It's the most stressful job I've ever had in my life. Mm-hmm. And I was just kind of starting to figure it out. I was like, all right, maybe I can make a job of this. And one of the guys from the Bills media department calls me up and says, hey, we're starting to do a John Murphy show. We're going to do a radio show. we're thinking about you as the producer. You know, would you come in and talk to us about it? The Bills are calling me. Oh my goodness. It was the thrill of my life. And yeah, I go in there, I interview, I get the job. And let me tell you, the first time that I pulled up to the stadium, because, you know, I've been there before, you know, and it was all for work, but to pull up there and say, this is my job. Like, this is where I work. It was, I will never get over that feeling. Like, the overall experience, sadly, it wasn't a good one. Because it was very stressful. I mean, as you can imagine, it's, you know, it's just a nonstop train. There's always something happening.
Yeah.
And as much as I love the radio side of it, I had to do video as well. And let me tell you, shooting live football, like live action sports at all, one of the hardest things I've ever done. I have so much respect for those people who can do a great job at it. Like Jay Harris kind of took over where I left off, and he's still there producing that show, One Bills Live. And he was great at both. So he's done an amazing job. And I was always, you know, I was always impressed by him, you know, people like him and Jimmy Action, who's still at it. Like, those guys, Scott Swenson, like, they are really good at what they do. But it wasn't a good fit for me, unfortunately. But to work with Murph and to be able to build that show from the ground up, I've never been more proud of anything in my professional career than what we built with that show.
Yeah, that is super cool. You mentioned how there's like the different elements to the responsibilities of being that producer. I mean, sports media is changing so much. And as someone who works, you know, in the media field with, you know, how do you see it? How have you seen it change, and how do you see it changing in the future?
It's not great, Del. No, so I had a feeling you were going to ask me this one, and I was really thinking about it because I don't want to sound like I'm down on it, but I feel like the age of credibility, I don't think matters as much anymore, is going to matter going forward. Like, you know, we were talking to Vic Carucci. Vic's one of the best to ever do it. I don't know if most fans now understand that, you know, like the days of Vic Carucci, Mark Gaughan, who's fantastic, Larry Felser, who, you know, Vic used to work with. Like, you had to really know your stuff and know the X's and O's. I mean, now anybody with an all-22 pass can jump on there. And I feel like sports media going forward is who can be the loudest. Doesn't matter if you're right, you know, and I think of someone like Nick Wright, who, you know, he hits on a good one every now and then, like, you know, no offense to him, but like, it's just like, what can I say that's really going to rile people up? What's going to get me the most hits? Yeah. And that makes you successful, you know? Like, you know, our buddy, I've never met the guy, but I think like Kyle Brandt. Kyle Brandt's great. And I think one of the things that he does really well is that he is a really educated broadcaster, but he can still play that part of like, I'm going to be the loudest and I'm going to make the most noise, but he has legit great takes. It's just kind of like buried underneath, like, you know, the angry footballs takes, you know, and he's really good at that.
Yeah. He's entertaining while he's sharing his, you know, factual based, it's
a fine balance. I have a lot of respect for what he does.
Because you think about like you mentioned, like Larry Felser, Vic Carucci, Mark Gaughan, like these were people that were telling you the story of what happened.
It was an art form.
Yeah, they weren't the story.
Right.
And you think of, like you mentioned, like, you know,
that's
whether it's Nick Wright or whomever, not Kyle Brandt. We love Kyle Brandt on Mafia Family Ties.
We're a Kyle Brandt show.
big Kyle Brandt fans. No, but yeah, it is interesting how it's just the personas and how social media has changed so much of it. You know,
you hit the nail on the head better than I was doing myself. That's the difference. It's you are the story now. Like where in the past, I don't know why I'm elaborating. You did a good enough job.
No, go for it.
It used to be, it was an art form. It's how can I build these words? Like, how can I put these words together to accurately paint a picture for somebody, you know, so they can feel like they were there or go through some emotions all over again. And now it's, you know, how can I put myself in there? How can I make it about me and have people like, you know, watch me going forward and get the most clicks, get the most likes?
Yeah. Yeah. That's where we are. So
yeah, it is. Can't run from it.
Nope. I want to get into some more of this, the real Bill-centric stuff that you've done in the past. Correct me if I'm wrong, you had the first interview with T.O. when he came to Buffalo, is that right?
So probably the first exclusive
interview. Yes. Yeah, that's what I meant.
It's just bizarre. It's not because I'm good. It's like I can't.
No, man,
I know.
you're
Hey,
good.
I'll take my flowers.
Yeah,
That's
take
fine.
them.
But but I want to be honest. Like it's because I was safe. Like like I had built enough trust with those locker rooms. Like I sent you a sample of that 60 seconds thing that I did.
Just hilarious, by the way.
It was great, and it was one of the best. Sidetrack a little bit, but one of the best compliments I ever got in my professional career came from Chris Brown. And to backpedal. I had no idea that Chris Brown even knew who I really was at that point because we worked together on the broadcast. I don't know if he really knew or liked me or whatever. And then we were sitting in one of the planning meetings going into the year, and they're like, "Hey, the 60 seconds feature is going to get sponsored." Wow, like I came up with an idea that's going to make money? That's crazy. And he said in front of everybody, he's like, that segment is more responsible than anything for building camaraderie in the locker room. Because at that point, we're talking the lowest of the lows for the drought years. Yeah. So there was nothing to laugh at in those locker rooms. You had guys like near tears half the time. So it was a real game changer. So I think through that, I kind of built some trust with the Bills media team and the PR team, guys like Chris Jenkins who are there now. They knew I wasn't going to pull any punches. Yeah. So, T.O., shortly after he got here, he had, I forget if it was like a workout routine. I knew he had a book at that time, too.
TV show?
I think it was pre-reality show. Okay. But he had a book that he wanted to promote, too. So they're like, hey, you get to sit down with them. They kind of gave me an idea what they wanted me to ask, but I took some liberties too, but they knew I wasn't going to pull any punches. I wasn't going to ask him some hard hitting stuff and be controversial. It was going to be like, hey, what's your cheat meal? Yeah. Which is red velvet cake, by the way.
Dude, same.
No, for T.O. I mean,
I know, dude, same. Like T.O., same.
Yeah.
Red velvet,
taste.
Let's go.
I know. He would tell me on his birthday, he'd get 2 red velvet cakes, one to bring in for the team and one for himself. He would eat an entire red velvet cake by himself. So that's the kind of stuff they knew I was going to ask.
I could do that too, just no workout.
Yeah, right. I don't look like him afterwards. And I'd have no team. So I'll just eat both of them by myself. Yeah.
It's good stuff. Was just to sit there for a second, because I'm a bit of a T.O. stan. I remember when they signed him. I remember my wife and we were traveling, and I remember I spent the whole back half of the day, probably annoyed the heck out of her. I can't believe T.O. was a Bill. I can't believe, so I was starstruck from afar, just the fact that he was, on the team. I have 2 T.O. jerseys that I still wear.
Awesome.
But what was that like for you? Was there any interpersonal stuff with him?
One of those jerseys has to be the baby blue.
Yeah, they're both the
throwbacks.
The baby blue throwback and the white throwback.
Okay, the white throwback.
Yeah, the one that they wore in the Hall of Fame game.
Not the awful white away one with the blue shoulders.
No, we don't have those.
We don't talk
household.
about that.
No, we don't. Those are not allowed in our.
Yeah,
in our
we don't talk about Bruno. Yeah. I will say I was there for the introductory T.O. press conference. I remember. I think it was a Saturday night that we got the announcement. I'm at home. Thankfully, at that time I had no life. They're calling me up like, "Hey, we just signed Terrell Owens. You have to get down to the stadium, and cover this press conference." I'm like, "Okay." So I run down there, and I what my biggest takeaway is from that press conference? I actually felt a little bad for him. So, because he's coming from San Fran and from Dallas, and I think he came here from Dallas, right?
Yeah.
So he had just come from these big markets, and I'll never forget him standing there at the podium waiting for the press conference to start, looking up at the TVs. And I could just tell, like I clicked with him in that moment. He's looking at the TVs, waiting for them to go over to like the live feed of we have the TO live press conference, and none of them were doing that. They were staying with their regularly scheduled programming. And I could see the disappointment in his face in that moment. And I honestly felt a little bad for him. I think he might have been thinking like, what did I get myself into? But I loved the TO period here. I mean, he didn't seem like a bad teammate at that time. I mean, he was a big fan. He was a big Fitz stan. I remember that in particular. Mm-hmm. I remember I was doing my 60 seconds is right around Thanksgiving time. And I'm like, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try and talk to him. And he just walked away from me. I'm like, T.O., I just want to know what you're most thankful for. And as he's walking away, he just turned around and went, Fitzpatrick. Got him. Got him. Me too, man.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah. That's good stuff. We all love Ryan Fitzpatrick. He was just ahead of the curve.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's good stuff. Like I was just that time that he was with. We're spending a lot of time on T.O. Sorry, but that time he was with the team, it was such a down time. It was like the pit of the drought, right? Yeah. And I felt like he kind of understood in some way, like he's all right. These fans have it really hard right now, but I'm here to, well, first of all, play football and get paid, right? But I'm here to like hopefully make this a little bit more fun for them. So I remember even his last game, he went around the entire stadium and gave high fives to like every fan, like around the whole bowl and everything.
Yeah, that video is it's legendary. Yeah. Like him doing the lap around the stadium. Was he only here for the 1 year?
The 1 year, that's it. 2009.
Yeah, that's insane. And he left this much of an impact that we're still talking about.
Yeah, well,
yeah. I mean, I think he definitely understood the assignment, and I think being realistic, like he knew where he was in his career. Like his last year in Dallas wasn't anything to write home about. Like he was definitely on the downward slide. So it's like, okay, how can I try to make this city more relevant, and this team, and also lift myself up and, get another shot. I mean, it brought him to Cincy after that, right? To team up with Ocho Cinco. So I think he knew what he had here and he was just going to go put on a show. I mean, and he did a great job, obviously.
Yep. So if you're watching, we love you, Tio. Okay. So you're a radio DJ. Yes. You're a Bills fan. You've done different things within the stadium, whether it's the 60-second, interviews or whatever. But let's play make believe for a minute. If you get to be the in stadium DJ, DJ Milk is sick that day. Yeah, he's like, Russ, I need you. You got to fill in for me. What's the one song that you're like, oh, I can finally play this to like 73? No, I guess it's 60,000 now in the new stadium. Yeah, I can finally play this to like tens of thousands of people live.
Dude, I'm not going to give you one song.
All right. What's your short list?
So my short list. So I went through waves trying to think of this. And so my jam, like if I'm looking to get pumped up, if I'm really looking, like if I'm working out or something, Outkast B.O.B. is my song. Like it doesn't matter like how tired I am. That song will get me to run over mountains. Like it'll do everything. But I don't think it's good for the stadium. It's if you can, because that's we think of like
especially nowadays, right?
Well, yeah, but you think of like Mr. Brightside. It's an anthem. You can sing along to it. If you can sing along to B.O.B., no matter what you're doing, you're in the wrong career. Yeah, like you need to be in hip hop because that once Big Boy gets going, he's spitting. So that's my go-to, but I don't think it would really work. So then I started thinking of like the St. Louis Blues, and they got Laura Branigan, Gloria. That they go to for their pump up song, which you would not expect to be in any sports arena whatsoever. And I love that. So then I started going to like, Rick James, Give It To Me Baby, or like, Rick Astley, Never Gonna Give You Up. I'm like, something like that. Look at the smile on your face.
You want to roll Rick the entire
yes,
You want to Rick roll the entire
smile that just
stadium.
went on your face is the reason I thought of that song. Because you would just automatically, you're uplifted. It's like that great. But I think it would get old really quick.
Really quick. 30 seconds in.
Well, I think you get through at least a couple plays. But after enough. Like the third game, you'd be like, oh, we're doing this again.
Yeah.
So I started thinking, what's unique to this area? It's very Western New York, Southern Ontario that people here would love and really it's uplifting. Tragically hip.
I knew you were going to say that.
Fireworks.
All right, good stuff. Yeah, I knew you were going to say hip. Yeah. As soon as you said Southern Ontario, I'm like, I know where he's going with this.
I think... Well, come on. I'm proud of that one.
Yeah, no, I'm not. It's good. It's good. I'm not hating on it. I just like.
I think it's isn't it amazing all we have accomplished? Like it's very uplifting. Everyone here loves the hip, even if you don't really listen to them. Like you'd hear it, and it's that opening riff starts going. I think that's my song. I think it's not going to replace Mr. Brightside. I think as long as Dalton Kincaid's on this roster, Mr. Brightside is going to be the anthem. But I think that would be my choice.
I was going to ask you about that with Mr. Brightside.
Yeah.
Because there's some opinions on social media whether it should follow over to the new stadium or not.
Ooh, you're asking the tough questions today. Should it follow into the new stadium? I think, yeah. I think why not? I mean, it's because it's clear. I think it's part of this team's, it's part of the fabric of this team. So if they're coming over, why wouldn't the song come with them? Is kind of how I feel about it. It's already an anthem. It's everyone knows it. You can sing along to it. They put the words on the Jumbotron. I mean, I think absolutely should come with them.
Which are some interesting words to sing along to sometimes.
Yeah, it's not. It's like, wait, what's she doing?
This? Exactly. Like
she's touching his what?
Yeah. All right.
Okay. But it's a bop. It's a fun. Yep. It's a fun. It's a me, Mario. Yeah, it's a good song.
All right. Stadium.
Yes.
All right. Let's get into the stadium a little bit.
Stadium. Giant Buffaloes. Let's do it.
Johnny Buffaloes. What's the reference? What am I missing there?
You didn't see the renderings?
Oh, Giant. I thought you said Johnny. I'm like,
Johnny
who's
Buffaloes.
Johnny Buffalo?
That's actually my alternate personality. I've
I
come
like
to
it.
announce
It should be. It should
I'm
be.
going into professional wrestling.
Johnny
my
Buffalo.
name's going to be Johnny Buffalo.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. I'm in. Giant Buffaloes. Yeah.
Yes.
So, we'll jump into that. Like, what are your thoughts on those?
Love them. Next. I'm kidding. No, it's funny because I think the first person I think of is Jeremy White, because I know he was really banging the table for the Giant Buffaloes. And it's like, all right, well, how big these things going to be? And to be honest, I forgot about it. I didn't even know we were going to get Buffalo statues outside. And then they unveil them, and they're like 10, 20 times taller than the people. Like, that's going to be incredible, especially like the uplighting and everything. There's going to be such epic selfies. So many people are going to get injured trying to ride the Buffaloes.
Yep.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw him, I was like, "Oh, really?" But as you know, you go through that whole the 6 or 7 minute video they put out, and you read about it, and like, all right, this is actually gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I guess they're gonna have they're gonna be lit up and everything. It's gonna be sweet.
That's the lighting. Because at first it was like, all right, that's cool. The size got me more than anything, but the lighting along with it, I think it's going to look really impressive coming in the stadium.
Yeah, if they thought they had a hard time with the old men's rooms. Getting people do not urinate and sink. If they thought that was gonna be hard, like, I can't wait to see how they're able to control, like, do not climb the Buffaloes.
I'm sure I'm sure they've thought of that one.
I'm sure they have. I just can't wait to see how they
enforce it.
Yeah.
Good luck. You're gonna have some what are the free solo guys that are gonna come out there and try to climb the Buffaloes.
Yeah, that's we don't want to give anybody any ideas. So
yeah, I think we just did.
I think we did. All right, so in terms of the eras of the stadium, because you've been covering this team now for however long, or you covered them and you've been a fan and everything. What are some of the eras that stick out to you in the time that you've been a fan?
We're taking an eras tour through
the eras.
Through the
exactly.
Stadium.
Yes. Nice little musical tie-in for
sure. This one year was a really cruel summer. Sorry, I felt like I had to go with the Taylor Swift thing. I think my favorite era is the Chan era. It's the Chan, Fitz, Stevie. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love what we have now. I mean, come on, obviously.
Yeah.
We get to watch one of the greatest of all time, at least in our history, maybe the league, but, one of the greatest quarterbacks around today play every week, every
Very
week.
Spoiled.
We're so spoiled. It's like watching Jordan in his prime is what it feels like to me.
Absolutely.
But that team and that era in the stadium, there's just, because you know what it was? We're talking about the TO years and the bottom of the drought era. And when you had like Fitz and Stevie and Fred and CJ and Shan, it felt like things were turning. It felt like we were getting there, It felt like we had a chance. And at the end of every year, it was like 2 or 3 plays. Not even games, just plays. Like, if George Wilson would have picked off that pass, and I'm thinking of a play in particular, actually. Like, if he would have dropped that Tom Brady interception, like, we win that game, and we're right there. And there was just an excitement. And I remember even, hearing that the league, people in the league wanted that team to win. Like, they were pulling because of what that blue collar era, that aura around the team, what that meant for the league. It was just fun.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's just more optimism around the fan base and in the stadium. So that era is always going to be my favorite.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun. That was actually right around the birth of Bill's Mafia too.
Sure. Stevie.
I mean, so, T.O. leaves and Stevie takes on the Joker persona because, T.O. and Chad Johnson were calling themselves Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
And that whole offense, Stevie was like, he was the centerpiece of it in a lot of ways. I mean, you had Fred and CJ taking turns in the backfield and everything. And I remember I think I've mentioned this on the show before, but I'll say it again. I remember the Wall Street Journal actually wrote a whole article dissecting Chan Gailey's offense and why it was actually succeeding.
Really?
Yeah. So
they never saw that.
Yeah. So they started that season 5-2, and then I guess every defensive coordinator in the league read that article. And they won one game the rest of the year.
Oh my god!
It ended up 6-10. But there was such a fun offense, and it had great personalities. Scott Chandler. So many cool guys were on that team.
It was a family. It really was. You know, and you even go to the defense, and I'm kind of mixing it up now, but oh my God, that D line, you know, that you made the shirt, the Avengers shirt, you know, where you got Marcel Darius, you got Kyle Williams, you got Mario Williams, and random fourth guy, who would have been Jerry Hughes probably at that time. I mean, that D line was incredible. Yep. So I mean, goodness, I think everyone but maybe one of them had double-digit sacks that year. So, I mean, they were just fun. Yeah, it's always going to be one of my favorites.
No, I love it. I love it. Okay, so the new stadium, if you can add one thing to it, what would it be?
Smaller buffaloes, climbable buffaloes. No, I think heated seats. I don't know. I mean,
there probably are some in there.
There probably are.
Not in my section. But they're probably in there.
I mean, I wish I had a better answer, but because everything that I would want, like one of my biggest things that I would want is more speakers, because I'm an audio guy. You know, I want that music blaring wherever you are, because sometimes it's like, oh wait, what was that? You know, you're kind of where the stadium now isn't the best for that kind of thing. For acoustics. But now it looks like the whole inner rim is just lined with speakers. It's hard for me to answer because I don't even know what. I'm sure there's going to be things like, you know, field level fireworks or something, you know, something like that. I just want them to care about the performance aspect of it. And I think they're going to do a good job. Pete Gwelly, I think his name is, like, he clearly gets it and cares about that kind of stuff. So I think the game day experience is going to be incredible. The entrance, like I want to feel like that stadium is shaking when they come out and you see the buffalo stampeding on the video screens. Like I want that kind of thing. Like, if you've ever been to like a 4DX movie, like I want to feel like I'm in those seats when the team runs out of the tunnel for the first time. That's what I want.
I like that. The 40X or whatever it was. That's my neighbors and I, we went to go see Aquaman 2 in those
and you got drenched.
Those seats. We did not, we got sprayed a little bit. Yeah. But I remember, this is totally off topic. Whatever. The bad guys get stabbed through and you feel it in your back. And I remember thinking, like, why are you making me identify with a bad guy? Like, I'm on Aquaman's side, yo.
We saw the second Avatar movie, and at one point it's just all mist in the studio. And there's at one point they're like shooting machine guns, and you can feel it, like the air poofing between your head, behind your head. It's like, this is an experience. Yeah. I get motion sickness, so I have to take like 2 Dramamine before I go, which makes me very drowsy afterwards. But for those 2-3 hours, it's a blast.
That's great. Yeah. That's great. No, but to your point though, that moment when I was just thinking about that moment when the team comes out onto the field, I mean, for the first time.
Yeah.
I almost wish there were no preseason games, because that first regular season game is going to be like such a big deal. I say that now, and I'll be like chomping at the bit to get in there for the preseason game.
For anything,
But that first time that the team comes out on the field is going to be, it's going to be wild.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see what they do, you know, as far as like the legend of the game goes or anything like that. Like, is still just them standing on the field?
I think they're going to have a little platform where they come out.
That's going to be cool.
Yeah.
Just all of it. I know they're going to have something great. They're going to have something special planned. I just can't wait to see what it is.
They've thought it all through, I'm sure.
Excuse me. It's going to be exciting no matter what it is. We know that.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, all right. So one thing that we like to do on this show is do some wing talk. So we're going to do that now. It's brought to you by William Matara Law Offices.
Hey, my buddy Bill.
I mean, your buddy Bill. So
I was in a William Matara commercial. Do we have the clip? Sorry, it's not that kind of show.
It's not that kind of show. Right. Full circle. Great.
That's great. Yeah.
So, all right. So, favorite wing spot?
My favorite wing spot is One-Eyed Jack's.
Dude, are you serious?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God.
It's not my It's not my favorite wing spot.
Yeah.
But when I go there, I only get the wings. You're blowing my mind right now. Like, no one's ever even brings that place up in conversation.
I know. All right, that's why I'm doing it.
I asked you a question. You talk. Go. I'm so excited. Let's hear it.
So here's the thing. There's so many other great places. I mean, Duff's is legendary. It's awesome. Santora's has great wings. Santora's has great flavors. They have a great variety of flavors. But just for my money, like, man, the way they smoke those wings, it falls off the
falls
bone.
off. I shake the wings. My wife's like, "Are you trying to get the meat to fall?" I'm like, "Yes, I am." Yes.
Come on, who doesn't want to do that? When we go to the drive-in, I don't go a lot, but when we go to the drive-in, I almost always try to make a stop at One Eye Jack's and get those wings because they are to die for.
Yeah. Good stuff. We've been going there for like 25, 26, 27 years. Like they've been around.
So good.
Yeah. No, it's good stuff. Deep pull.
Yeah,
That was good, man.
I was pretty proud of that one.
All right,
not gonna lie.
You mentioned the sauces at Santora's and stuff. Do you have like a favorite sauce when you're not at One Eye Jack's? But like,
Yes.
Do you have a favorite sauce?
I have come prepared, Del. I don't have wings with me. It sounded like that.
It really
reveal.
did. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's a big letdown.
So there is. This is so random, but there's a new Indian restaurant on Elmwood. I think it's part of our pub. I want to say I probably mispronounced it.
Elmwood in the city?
So it's Elmwood over in that, like, I'm trying to think of all these things that used to be other things, like Blue Monk, like across from there.
Sure. Yep.
It used to be like a Greek restaurant, I want to say. And now it's this part of our pub. And they have like traditional Indian fare, but then they have fusion. They have a fusion menu with like pizzas and wings. They have these, my mouth is literally salivating. They have these mango ginger wings. They are so stinking good.
Wow.
I can't talk about them enough. Like they're so good. Everything I've had there from there is fantastic. But that sauce in particular, I don't know what else they have in there, but it is so tasty.
I might go there this weekend.
Yeah.
Like no lie.
You will not be disappointed.
I've never even heard of that place.
And the pizza, the dough, I think it's on like a non-dough kind of deal. It's
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's really light. It's great. Just if you want to change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I would
love it.
I would go there.
Good suggestions. And
Thank you.
You brought it, dude.
This is the
You
best
brought
part of
it.
the
You brought
interview.
it.
Now I'm hungry.
You're not wrong. So, all right. And last question.
Yeah.
How many wings have you put down? Like, what's your peak number, or that you've seen been put down?
I can't say I counted, but like me and my friends used to have like a body count when we go to, what was the place? Oh my God, it was right off the 400. Oh, it was gigantic. I think it's Mooney's now. But they would have 10-cent wing night on like Tuesdays.
Is that the rib place?
I think so.
Tony Rome?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right off the 400.
Yes. Right off the 400. And there would just be a pile of carnage after there. So I can't say I ever kept track, but we probably got 100 wings easily between like 3 or 4 guys, and they'd be gone.
Love it.
Polish them off.
Love it. Good stuff. All right. Russ Burton, thank you for joining me today on Mafia Family Ties. Long overdue. I'm glad you could make it.
Thanks for having me. This is great.
All right, let's go.